Hi guys, it's Shell, Sunbury Housewives. Welcome back to another video. If you're new to our channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Hit the subscribe button to see future videos. Today I am working on a tumbler that didn't turn out exactly how I'd hoped, but this is an example that not always turns out the way you want. So I'm starting with the 20-ounce stainless straight tumbler and this removable wallpaper from the Dollar Tree, and it's super cute. And I thought I'll go ahead and do like a V-split tumbler. So I'm starting out measuring it with my tumbler to see where I want to cut it off and wrap it around. Oddly enough, I found this in North Carolina, in the largest Dollar Tree in North Carolina, Burlington, North Carolina. The coolest Dollar Tree. It had just about everything. So when we were on our trip, I found this and I thought, oh, I could definitely use this on a tumbler. So I grabbed several sheets of these. Anyway, side note. So I wrapped it around, marked off where I wanted to cut it off. And then I'm going to use my paper trimmer to actually cut it off. So I'm going to line up where I made the mark and use my paper trimmer to cut off exactly where I need it to be cut. I'm just going to wrap it around to make sure that I have it exactly where I need it and make sure that it fits and lines up properly before I go ahead and remove the backing and place it down onto the tumbler. This had a little bit of a section that you already remove it to lay it down. So then I laid that section down and then remove the backing to smooth down the rest of it. So when I decided that I wanted to do a V-split, instead of just going ahead and cutting out the different sections, I just decided to do the full wrap and then decide to take some painter's tape, and I'm removing the excess here. But I decided to just wrap it fully and then decide to take some painter's tape and then cut out the V-splits that way, which I thought would be easier. So here I'm going to go ahead and remove the little bit at the bottom using my whatever this thing is. I forget what it's called. I can't think this morning. If you hear any noises in the background, it's my grandson, and I apologize. He's refusing to be quiet this morning. The edge trimmer, that's what it's called. So I'm using that just to take off a little bit at the top and the bottom and clean up those edges. So once I got that done, then I want to remove the seam. So I want to make sure that the V part for my first V is definitely removed. So that's where I'm going to make the V. I guess I'm technically only doing one V and removing it. So this is where I struggle a little bit, trying to make sure that the tape is symmetrical. So watch me struggle. Once I finally got it to where I want, I go ahead and I carefully cut along those tape lines to remove that excess vinyl that I don't want. It's technically not vinyl, but you know what I mean. So this, you'll see here in just a second, but once I get all that removed, I start to remove this removable wallpaper. This side comes off very nicely. It's the second half that just starts to just come off in little sections. Now this is removable wallpaper. I had already sand and prepped this tumbler and it did not want to come off. And so I had to go and look at this, at the paper again to make sure that this was removable. And it did. It was removable. And I would be afraid to put this on my wall. But yeah, it's removable. But it did not want to come off. And this is sped up by a lot. I ended up using my heat gun to try to get this off and used some I can't think, anyway, liquid. So then once I get that finally off and cleaned up, I take some Moss by Waverly chalk paint and I am painting that onto the stainless. Once the paint is dry, I go ahead and I use some UV resin and I do a nice thin coat all over the areas that I painted. That includes the bottom as well. Then I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle ice from the glitter guy all over all of that UV resin. Please excuse him. And then all over the bottom as well to make sure I have good coverage. And this ice is a cheat glitter, so it's going to show the color of the paint underneath. Because I didn't have a glitter exactly the color that I wanted. So this is a nice hack. So then I go ahead and immediately pull up my tape and I don't want to let that resin cure with the tape on it. So yeah, that's why I'm removing the tape now. So putting in the stuff to make it easier to cure. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe away all that glitter that I had and clean up my glitter. And then I'll get ready to get the lamp out and cure the glitter. So once that's cured, I'm going to wipe away the rest of the glitter that might be on the vinyl side, technically the vinyl side. And then right at the top of the rim where there was glitter that I took it all the way up, I'm going to take my edging tool again and clean that up because I want it to be even with the rest of it. So I'm just going to take this over with a couple passes so that I can get rid of and make the rim completely the same all the way around. And then I will remove the glitter that was all the way up to the rim because I don't want it to be uneven in any way at all. So I'll just take my craft knife and remove that excess glitter and glue or resin at the rim there, which is super easy since I went ahead and used that edging tool. It automatically makes a nice line so I don't go past that. It comes off super easy. I will spray this 2 times with the 2 times Rust-Oleum clear coat, and I gave it 2 coats of epoxy. So once that was done, I went ahead and I had cut out my vinyl. I did a gold offset and then a lime green, another offset, and then a dark green wording of Hello Summer. And I'm just trying to find the right placement. I didn't want it just going straight across, so I kind of did like a little cattywampus like thing. So I just didn't know where I wanted to place it. I knew, yeah, I just didn't know. So, because this is where it did not come out exactly as wanted. After I got into looking at this, my V was not perfect. And so I'm a perfectionist and it didn't come out perfect. So yeah. So I may end up stripping this and just doing something completely different, but this is part of crafting. Not everything turns out how you have it in your own mind. So I've already come too far in this, and I wasn't just gonna, I scrapped too much stuff. This is just part of crafting. So this is me. So I had cut out these gold palm leaves in a monstera. Is that how you say a monstera leaf? Anyway, so I wanted to add these onto the vinyl side. So I'm going to add 1/2 of this one towards the top and cut it off. So that's what I'm doing here, placing it just to add some extra elements into it. And once I find where I want it to be exactly, I'm going to place that down and then cut it off. Out of frame here. But I needed to set it up so I had it exactly where I wanted it. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut it off and remove the excess. But I'm not going to throw it away because I want to use it in another part of the tumbler. So I'd save that. And then just cutting off anything that might overlap places. So getting out any air bubbles that there might be. And then I'm going to use this leaf down towards the bottom-ish, and then pop any air bubbles that I might see. And then I still wasn't sure that I was going to use that bottom one, but I do end up later. So then I have my striping, and I do use 3 stripes in the same color that I used in the wording. And it starts with the gold stripe on each side. And then I just cut off the excess on each end. And then I move to a lime green that is just slightly smaller than the gold, and place that right in the center of the gold. And I was really trying to match as closely as possible to the colors in the design on the other side. And then, please excuse my grandson. And then once I get that placed down, I will use the darkest green right on top of that. So here's where I go ahead and use that last bit towards the bottom, and I cut off any excess. And then I do seal it with 2 coats of Rust-Oleum clear coat, so there won't be any lifting. But spoiler alert, there was some lifting. But I went ahead and used 3 coats of epoxy once that was done, and then the tumbler was done. So I don't know what I think about this, but I don't know. This didn't turn out exactly how I had hoped or envisioned. It's not exactly perfect, but here it is all done. It's not an even V. It's offset. It's just not perfect for myself, but it is cute. It's just different. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a great big thumbs up. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.